All right, today is October 10, 2019. This is the meeting of the Kubernetes Storage Special Interest Group. As a reminder, this meeting is public, recorded, and posted on YouTube. Today on the agenda, we're going to go over the items that the SIG is working on for the 1.17 Q4 release. Some important dates to keep in mind. Coming up next week on Tuesday is the enhancement freeze. This means that if you have any features that you're working on for the 1.17 release, please make sure that Kubernetes enhancement repo has an enhancement issue opened, tracking your feature with all the appropriate labels on it. And also make sure that if there is a KEP required, which I believe is required for all features, make sure that that KEP is not just created, but also approved and signed off on. And those are the requirements for getting features into 1.17. Right now, there's no PRs or designs to discuss, but if there's anything that comes to mind, please feel free to add to the agenda. And if there's anything else you'd like to talk about, feel free to add it to the agenda as we go. So let's jump right into the planning spreadsheet and get status updates from folks. First item we have is CSI migration moving to beta. Anyone want to give an update on this one?
Sure, I can go ahead. The updates mainly is we are working on making sure verify volume attached is completely integrated. Secondly, we have a fairly large PR that's going to introduce the disabling of the probing of entry plugins when migration is enabled. This paves the way for the compiler flag that will eventually get rid of providers. And thirdly, there's progress being made on the EBS side to make sure COPS is up to date to get the whole testing end-to-end going with EBS as potentially the first beta CSI plugin to go with migration as beta.
Nice. Okay. Thank you very much for that update, Deep.
Sure.
Okay. Next item is CSI online offline resizing volume expansion. This quarter, we're leaving it in beta and fixing some known issues with block. Hamant, do you want to talk about this?
Yeah, so I'm working on on a PR to fix the calling resize on all the nodes where the volume is attached as read write rather than just one, and that's the one that we'll be trying to get this quarter done today.
Okay. And then I know there are a set of changes that are going to go into CSI as well. Do you want to give an update on those?
Yes, so Ben had a change for this thing, the volume, adding the volume path. I have a change that adds volume capability and updates it. But there's a read-only expansion change where like how the read-only that is something I don't want to tackle this quarter actually, because it's like there's like it interacts with read-only attached volumes, and it interacts with read-only mounted volumes, and I would like to take some more time to understand the thing and then propose a fix. So I just want to do the volume capability thing changed to CSI node expansion and controller expansion calls.
Hamant, are you going to be in the San Diego for the face-to-face?
I will be there, yes.
This feels like a good topic for that forum. The
Okay.
all the issues around read-only.
Okay.
I'll propose it if it's not there already.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, sure.
Okay, maybe let's do a 30-minute sync up sometime in the next week offline just to make sure we're all on the same page.
Okay.
All right, cool. Thank you for all your work on this. Next item is the CSI library, which we're moving to an external repo to make it easier to consume for CSI drivers and other components. Travis has been working on this. I haven't seen any PRs or anything. Travis, are you on the line?
I'll go ahead and ping him and see where he is on this.
Okay, sounds good. Next item is the per volume attach limit. This was going to be moved to GA this quarter. Fabio, are you on the line by any chance? Okay. Anybody else able to give a status update on the per volume attach limit?
Fabio is working on trying to get the eToE test running. I think we have the eToE test, but it's currently disabled because it takes way too long and stresses the cloud backends too much. I think it's hitting like all the cloud API quota things. So Fabio's working on trying to see if we can rewrite the test to make it work better.
Okay. Cool. Next item is block volume support, which will remain in beta. And we will work on stress testing and fixing known issues. Jan, any updates on that?
I thought we are trying GA, but anyway, I updated cap for CSI block, and I actually created cap for row block in 3. And yeah, there are a couple of PRs in flight waiting for review.
Okay. And I want to make sure we're on the same page. So this quarter, we are not moving to GA, correct?
Oh, well, I would like to have it GA if, well, under the link, there is a long list of to-do items, so I'm not sure we can do that. But if the list is empty by the end of the quarter, I would like to have it GA.
Okay. And how confident are you in being able to burn down this list?
Well, not really anymore, because always new items pop up instead of being removed. I would say like 50%.
Okay. And then is it worth creating creating a feature issue and getting it on the official train for GA or not?
There already is issue, and well, in the worst case, we can just postpone it to the next release.
Okay. I think that's fine as long as we make sure that we know what all the issues are and ensure all of them are closed before we go to GA. That's fine. It sounds like it'll be a stretch, but we can try. Anybody have concerns with that? Okay, so let's target it for GA this quarter, and feel free to update the associated issues and caps accordingly. I think the other concern I have here is if there's a lot of refactoring going on, even if we are confident that we fixed, whatever the known issues are, we might be introducing new issues. So it may still be worth keeping it in beta another quarter just to make sure that it's stable before we push it to GA. All right, moving on. Next item is the new design for volume permission handling. This is kind of reconsidering everything we have around permissions because it was not a great design and has a number of issues. And then kind of related to that is revisit UID, GID handling, and then non-recursive volume ownership. All three of these are very related items. Brad, do you want to give an update on these?
Sure. So we've been talking about this internally at Red Hat, and trying to get some strategies, so we can present some options to the community. I know that there's some stuff that you guys have also discussed. I feel like the face-to-face would be a good time to, review what we've, kind of the stuff that we've gone over, and, some ideas that we've had around it, and, see what our next steps are. So I don't want to say we've made progress on it. I mean, it feels like we're trying to solve the halting problem, but we are at least, looking at it and coming up with at least trying to take an inventory of what might be able to do.
And then let's make sure to add it as one of the possible topics for the face-to-face.
Okay.
And then, yeah, that seems like a good opportunity to start talking about it more and seeing where we want to take it. Okay. Next item is volume expansion for stateful sets. Sorry, go ahead, Amat.
Yeah, so I don't think Siddharth is here, but currently spending for API review. Jordan has some, it's been reviewed by us and it's been reviewed by SIG but Jordan has to approve the API. So Jordan or our team. So Jordan is looking at the API. He has raised some concerns about the recovery from failure actually, and those needs to be addressed.
Okay.
So I'm not super confident now that will be get done by Tuesday, I think, because I have to talk to the SIDAC. I have to talk to SIDAC and find out if we can address all the problem concerns before that. So.
Got it. Okay, thank you for tracking that. And I think I skipped over the file permission handling for Windows. Deep, do you have any updates on that?
Yeah, I spoke to Jing, but last week don't have a specific update. I think she's still exploring this overall idea, and basically the action item is to get back to me and explore this a little later. Not sure if we'll get to this in this quarter.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Next item is CSI entry read-only handling. Preliminarily, we put John's name on it last time, since this would become important for volume cloning and populators. John, have you had any chance to look at this? Okay, I haven't seen any updates here, so I'm going to mark it as no update. Next item is the CSI spec changes for block volume expansion support and verify volume attach. I have not followed up on this. I need to take a look at what is required here. Oh, right. Okay. So this is waiting for the expand volume changes to go in. I'm syncing up with Hemant and Ben offline to figure out how quickly we can land those. And then as soon as the resize changes are in, we should be able to cut this and make the rest of these changes available. Cut 1.2. Next item is supporting containerized CSI node plugins in Windows with storage proxy. Deep, do you want to give an update on this?
Yeah, this is going pretty smooth so far. For the version APIs, there's like a pretty large PR up for around the code generators. So basically what Jean, who has been working on it, did is making some changes in the code generator for the APIs in Kubernetes so we can reuse this. So that's been pretty cool. And there was a good deal of reviews on that around the code generator repos. And secondly, the APIs themselves for file system and disk are in progress.
Cool. This is going to be one of the big things that lands this quarter.
Yep.
Next item is snapshots to beta. Xing, Sean, are either of you on the line able to give an update?
Yeah, so we have the beta API PR updated. We're going to have a review meeting with Tim. Hopefully that's the final API review. And also we started to look at changes in provisioner and split controller based on the new beta APIs. And also look at how to get the CI to pass, because now it needs to install CRDs manually. Xiangqian, you want to add anything?
No, that's pretty much all it is. I'm also working on the design doc for split into controller.
Okay, thank you for that. And I know this is an immense amount of work, so thank you. We will try very hard to land this in 117, and if we don't get a hold of Tim soon, I can try and help with that as well. Next item is CSI topology GA. Michelle, any updates on this?
Yeah, this is in progress. The KEP is currently under review, and I have the API change out for review as well.
Cool. And then moving CSI driver to GA. Come on.
Yeah, sorry. Skip driver attached that KEP was, or the pod info KEP was merged. I think skip attach is waiting for some information. Michelle has a comment. I'll address it in a couple of hours. But it's pretty small change. It just says that, okay, move this to GA. That's all.
Okay. Cool. So it seems like it is on track and looking good for the enhancement freeze.
Yep.
Next item is improving CSI metrics.
No
Sean,
updates, because I have been focusing on the snapshot almost all my time. But I do want to propose to maybe have a topic around this in the SIG meeting.
Okay.
For the KubeCon around this metrics. I think me and Michelle, Hama, and I have discussed this quite a bit. We haven't come to a final conclusion for many pieces yet, but I think that could be a good topic to talk about.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Feel free to add it to potential topics for the face-to-face, and we can discuss it there. Next item is issues related to assuming volumes are mount points. We were looking for an owner for this since last quarter. We haven't been able to find one. And this item is important now that CSI ephemeral volumes are in beta. Most likely a blocker for GA. Is that right, Michelle?
Yeah, I would say we should resolve this before GA. I think we're not planning on moving ephemeral volumes to GA yet, so I think we still have time. But I'll go ahead and reach out to Patrick and see if this is something he can look into.
Okay. And if anybody else on the call is interested in contributing, this is a good opportunity to step up. We tend to have these calls very well attended, but there's only a handful of folks who actively contribute, and I'd love to see more participation. All right, next item is volume snapshot namespace transfer. John is working on a design here. I have not seen any updates on that. I'm going to mark that as no update. Next item is CSI volume health. This is also a design. Xing, I think you mentioned that Nick Wren might be working on this.
Yeah, so I synced up with him. Yeah, he's still interested. So we talked about it. So we're going to make a few updates to the design doc. One thing is right now we are relying on volume tames, which is a new API proposed in another cap. But that one is also being proposed for like data populator. So we don't want to have too much dependency on that one. So we're thinking we just want to use annotation for the first version, because we initially don't really want to have any reactions. We just want to mark the volume.
Okay.
So that's, yeah. And then I think another place is the CSI. Right now we are using one CSI RPC to check both attach and mount conditions. We think maybe that's still better to separate them. This one is the controller side, one is the node side.
Okay. And that'll
so
be
we haven't updated it. Just we will be updating that soon.
Got it. So let's say design discussions in progress. Cool. Thank you, Xing.
Thanks.
Next item is volume group API, also a design for this quarter, but P3. Xing, I'm guessing no progress here considering all the snapshot work.
So I actually thought about the spreading.
Okay.
Yeah, but I need to sync up with you and Michelle just to see if it's the same idea.
We can, this might be a good topic for face-to-face as well.
Yeah, I added a topic there.
Yeah, I wish the face-to-face was longer than one day.
Yeah, there are a lot of potential topics.
Yeah, we'll probably have maximum 4 topics, so let's see how that goes. Next item is generic populator data source. This is also something John was looking into. I haven't seen any updates on this, so I'm going to mark that as no update. Next item was all the CSI drivers, NFS, iSCSI, Fiber Channel, and Flex. We were looking for owners for these. They serve as both libraries that others can use if they're building their own driver that uses a common protocol. They also serve as sample test drivers that you can use, and then eventually will serve as a replacement for the in-tree drivers. So for example, NFS, Fiber Channel, and iSCSI are in-tree drivers, and we want to ultimately move those out of tree into CSI. Unfortunately, it looks like we don't have anybody assigned to work on them this quarter. If anybody on the call is interested, please reach out. You can reach out to me offline. You can reach out to Michelle or Brad or anybody else in the SIG, and we'll get you pointed in the right direction. Aside from the CSI drivers, another unassigned item is something that we were working on with SIG apps, or was proposed. This is addressing an issue with what happens when PVCs or when stateful sets are deleted, how PVCs are handled. We don't have anybody working on it this quarter. There was somebody who proposed it in the SIG last quarter, but kind of disappeared. So it's hasn't gone anywhere since. If anyone's interested in this, if it's an issue that you've run into where you don't like to have to go in and manually clean up PVCs after your stateful set is deleted, you want to get that fixed, this would be a good issue to jump in on. Next item is execution hook for application snapshot. This would be taking a design, moving it to alpha. Xing, I saw your message to Yinon. I didn't see any reply on that thread. Do you have any updates?
Yeah, he didn't reply, but I did talk to Annan, who is one of the co-chairs of SIG apps.
Okay.
I happened to talk to him about another issue, and he actually asked me about this execution hook. So he's interested in this. He said he's going to bring this up in the next SIG apps meeting. and trying to find someone to work on it.
Nice. Awesome. Glad to hear. Okay. Thank you for that update.
Thanks.
Next item is CSI improve handling from recovery and timeout errors. A month. Do you want to give an update on this?
Yes, so I have a PR out, but Jan has raised concern about like making it more robust and adding additional status tracking. So I added those and I have already tested, but it's yeah, I'm testing. It's large actually. So yeah.
Okay, cool. Sounds like solid progress. All right, thank you for that update, and thanks everyone for the updates. Let's go back to the agenda. So again, the enhancement freeze is coming up October 15th. This means that you have to have an enhancement bug opened with all the appropriate labels, meaning milestone has to say 117, and you have to say alpha, beta, or GA label on there. And then you have to have your KEP approved and merged by this date in order for this feature to land in 117. So if you have any feature that's in 117, please make sure that you have enhancement issue and KEP completed. Moving on, looks like there's no PRs or designs that need attention. For miscellaneous items, I'll just remind folks about the face-to-face everybody's been talking about. We have it as a co-located event at KubeCon North America in San Diego. It's going to be an all-day event, Monday, November 18th. The event itself starts at 9 a.m. They're going to have food starting, I believe, 8 a.m. Breakfast, and then there's going to be lunch provided from 12 to 1. And I think we'll have probably time for 3 or 4 topics. What we'll do is there is a document that I shared with the with folks on the call, or on the is this the right? There's actually another doc. I'll find it and I'll update this link. But there's a doc that's tracking all the agenda items. And if you're interested in discussing anything there, feel free to update that doc. I'll update this link. And then last thing is we don't have any sponsor for dinner. If anybody's interested in sponsoring or have their company sponsor, feel free to send me a message offline and we can coordinate that. If we end up with no sponsor, we might just do something informal or just skip dinner. We'll figure that out. And that is all. Any questions, concerns, comments?
I dropped the link in the chat to the agenda.
Perfect. Thanks, Erin.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure what this doc is. I'm going to replace, oh, there we go. Somebody's updated it already. So yeah, this has all the information. The key is how to register. In order to register, you have to be registered for KubeCon first. And then after you're registered for KubeCon, send a message to the CNCF. Tell them you're interested in co-located event. And then add your name to the attendees list down here just to indicate that you're coming. And we will figure that out. And then this is the topics of interest. Feel free to add to this as well. Okay, any other questions, concerns, comments, anything anybody wants to talk about? All right, then you'll get 25 minutes back in your day. Thank you very much, and we'll reconvene in 2 weeks.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.